Today on our 2015 Toyota Prius, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness with 4-pole flat trailer connector. Part number is C56147. So here's what our wiring is going to look like once we have it fully installed. As you can see, we'll have plenty of wire to hook up our connector so we can get all of our lighting functions, like our turn signals, brake lights, and our running lights. It does come with a dust cover that we could actually leave it on the outside temporarily, wrap it around our hitch. That way it'll be ready for us whenever we hook up. What I like is that we can actually store it on the inside, because all of our wiring is going to be wrapped in here. So we can just lift up the compartment and store it right under here and be ready for us whenever we hook up. Now our wiring is going to be a plug and play installation, so we're not going to have to cut or splice into anything, and it is going to protect our vehicle from any kind of backfeeding. Now it is fuse protected, so our turn signals and our stop lights are going to have 3 amps per circuit, and our taillights are going to have up to 6 amps per circuit. Now a lot of our customers are saying they really like this kit because of how easy it is to install. Now there are a few little tricks and things that we've done to make it even easier, and we'll show you how to do that now. To begin our installation, we're going to open up the hatch on our Prius and we're going to want to take out all the floor coverings. That's going to include all the side panels as well as this plastic bin on the bottom. So we'll just lift them all out and set them aside. We'll lift up on this panel. This is also going to have the battery cover on it as well. So we'll go ahead and set this one aside and take the other side out too. There's a little tab right here that's holding onto this stud. So you just want to give it a little bit of a pull and it should pop out. Now at the back of the trunk opening, we're going to pull our weather stripping away so that we have access to this edge of our threshold. We're going to grab underneath, and lift up. It's going to release those clips and we'll set the threshold aside. We need to gain access to the back of our taillights. We do have this panel right here. If we pull on the tab, we can pull the panel off, but as you can see, it's going to give us very limited access back there. So to make it easier to handle everything and get behind our taillight, we're going to come to our tie down hook, and using a 10mm socket, we'll pull the bolt out, and then we're going to follow the panel up. We'll have another bolt holding that plastic piece in, and again with a 10mm socket we can pull that bolt out. And we're going to want to start pulling the carpet away gently, but there are going to be some clips back here, so you can grab a trim panel tool or something flat that you can reach behind the panel with and kind of pry those clips out so then we can get access back there. And just kind of pull the panel away. We can see the connectors a lot easier now. Now we're going to be looking for the square connector. It's going to have a little tab on the bottom that's holding it in place. So we're going to want to take a screwdriver or a trim panel tool, and we're going to want to slide that towards the front of the car so that it loosens it up. And we'll have a little bit of excess wire back there, so we have a little bit more room to work with. If we come to the side, there's going to be this little tab here. We're going to want to press that tab and pull out the connectors so we can disconnect them. Now we went ahead and did the same thing on the other side, sliding our connector out and disconnecting them. We're going to start on the passenger side, so we'll grab the red, green, and brown connectors, and you'll notice that they're going to match the connectors that are on our Prius. So we'll take the end that we unplugged from the taillight assembly, we'll plug it in, and we'll take the other end, plug it into the other side. You want to make sure that they both lock into place, so let's give them a quick tug. And to help keep everything contained, we'll take that tab and slide it back in to the socket it was in, so it'll keep it nice and tight against the taillight. So now we're going to take our 4-pole wire and our yellow T-connector, and we're going to start routing them toward the driver's side going along the threshold here. Now we'll leave our 4-pole about halfway. That way we can drop it out the hatch whenever we want to use it. But our yellow T-connector is going to go all the way over to the driver's side tail light and connect the same way. And we'll slide that connector back in place as well. Just want to make sure you tuck your wires behind the panels. And then we can come back with some zip ties and secure everything to some of this factory wiring. So this is what the wires look like. We just took a couple zip ties and zip tied it to the frame and this existing wiring, and our threshold will cover up the rest. So we should have 2 more wires left. A white wire with a ring terminal and a red wire that has a fuse holder in place. Now you're going to want to make sure you pull the fuse out, and we're going to route our red wire over to the positive post on our battery. So we'll open up the cover, and we're going to need to loosen up the nut that's on top. So we'll grab a 12mm socket. We'll pull the nut off. And we can take the ring terminal on the red wire, slide it over, and we'll replace the nut. And if you leave your wire in line straight with the terminal, you'll be able to get the cover closed. Now for our ground wire, we have a couple different options of where we can mount this. We can use the self-tapping screw in the kit and drill into the sheet metal, but rather than putting another hole in the vehicle, we'll come to our factory ground, which is going to be right towards the middle from the battery and at the back of the bumper here. So we'll grab a 10mm socket and we'll take that bolt out. To remove the bolt, we can slide it through the ring terminal and put it back in place. Just want to make sure that the existing grounds go back in as well. Now we're going to find a spot to mount the converter box. Now they do provide you with some double-sided foam tape. We'll take the tape and we're going to stick it directly to the box and then remove the backing off the other side, and we'll find a nice flat spot that's going to be out of the way. We mounted our converter box directly to the outside of the body, close to the battery. That way it'll be out of the way of all the panels, and it has a nice flat spot to adhere to. So with all of our connections made, we can take our 10-amp fuse and put it in our fuse holder. Now we can start putting all the panels back that we removed. With our wire hooked up, I plugged in my tester so we can make sure that all the circuits are working properly. If you need one of these testers, you can pick one up here at etrailer.com using part number I26. I'll turn my headlights on, and you can see that those functions are working, as well as the left turn signal, the right turn signal, and my brakes. That'll finish up your look at the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness with a 4-pole flat trailer connector, part number C56147 on our 2015 Toyota Prius.